You don't have to be stuck. And it starts with that feeling that says, I want to be doing something different. You don't even have to know what that different is. You don't even have to have a plan. You just need to stop doing what you've been doing, and you will find that change will manifest itself. From there, you just take a small step, whatever that is. You make the phone call, you apply for that job, have that discussion. And if you're taking the first step, then that is all that matters, because the first step will be followed by a second step. And so long as that we're taking steps, the destination will be reached. It is inevitable. So if you're feeling stuck, if there's a situation that your mind has convinced yourself you cannot leave or that you cannot change, know that that's not the case. And that there's a lot more out there waiting for you. So I used to think that passion was bullshit. I had so much negativity generated towards the word passion. I looked around me and saw people with passion doing cool things with their lives. Wondered why I couldn't be them. The negativity was just an endless cycle. And for me, what broke that cycle was realizing that everyone's experience can be their passion. If you feel like your experience isn't your passion, then begin to listen to that gut feeling. And if you can get excited about what you're doing and who you are and love yourself first and most, then that's when the real growth begins to happen. If you feel like you don't have a passion in life, then just remember that your passion is your life. Our thoughts are a news broadcast, then we are the audience. We are not the broadcaster itself. We cannot control what thoughts come into our head or what the news broadcast is saying to us. But what we can control is our reaction to that broadcast. Do we change the channel? Do we turn it off? Do we continue to listen? And whatever you decide based upon your criteria for watching will determine whether you continue to watch or not. Such as, is this program helping me grow? Is this channel helping me change? And it's up to us as the audience to determine if we're going to give this broadcast viewers and put a lot of trust into that thought. Because sometimes these thoughts aren't even in our best interest. The ideal state would be to get rid of most of those thoughts and to live in that quote-unquote moment and to turn off the TV. And I think that's what a lot of meditation and just sitting, whatever you want to call it, just sitting and observing the thoughts that arise and observing the body. I think that's one of the first lessons that we learn, that we are not these thoughts and we are above the thoughts. What matters is that if the program that we're watching isn't conducive to the moment, then we can go ahead and choose to turn it off. But we can only turn it off once we are aware that that program is on and running. And it's so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others when really we have no idea what they're thinking or how they feel about their own lives. It's just a reminder that really we already have everything that we need. There's nothing missing in our lives. If we always think that there's something missing, then where does it end? It doesn't lead to fulfillment. just pointless thought, really. It just comes into the mind and it's hard to get rid of sometimes, but once we catch it, it's just so obvious that it's not conducive to helping anything. Things take time. It takes time to change and to grow. And everyone's doing great in every moment. And that's all we can do. Change can be associated with growth. In fact, I think the majority of the time. That if we're changing, we're experiencing new things. And if we're experiencing new things, then that's keeping the mind active, that's keeping the body on its toes, align our heart in the right way as well. Sometimes change can be difficult, but it's what's needed from us. Typically there's some fears associated with change, the fear of failure and what that might look like. Rarely is it the fear of death, because death seems so far into the future for a lot of people that it's hard to comprehend. But I think death should be the most imminent of fears, because death is what provokes the greatest amount of change, knowing that we will die eventually, and perhaps sooner than later. If we're waking up today and we're not living the life that we want to be living, then let's stop living that life. Then fear doesn't become an issue anymore. The only issue becomes, how will we best use our time? Because if we're doing what we want to do, then we create this endless string of win-win scenarios. If we're being creative and we're following our heart and we're having fun and we're enjoying the moment that we're in, then first of all, you can't lose. We're creating passion through our experience. We're helping others as well. We're not just helping ourselves. This idea of doing what you want to be doing in life is contagious, and other people want to join you. So for instance, right now I'm currently writing a book. I'm having a lot of fun writing this book. It's exactly what I want to be doing. I don't necessarily have any goals tied to it. I would like for it to reach the right people at the right time. But let's say that in the eyes of society or business that it's a failure and that not many copies are distributed. If our goal is to make money, then we've already lost the path. We should just be doing whatever we're doing because we enjoy it and because it's what we want to be doing. Again, let's say that it flops, the book. Well, this gives me now an opportunity to write a book about how to not write a book, or a book about the things I learned while writing a book. Really, the options are endless. We're taught that one day we retire and then we do the things that we want to be doing. That first we trade 50, 60 years of our lives to then live the next 20 to 30. I don't understand the concept of retirement. I really don't. We're already retired, and that, well, let's just do what we want to do. And from there, success as deemed by society will be inevitable, more so that we will be happy in this moment. Today I want to talk about secrets. So what is a secret? It's something that we keep to ourselves, and we convince ourselves that it's because we're scared of what others think about us. But that's just at the surface level. Deep down, it's because we're not loving ourselves, and we're making this choice out of fear. And that's where problems start to arise, because the longer that we hold on to that fear, the longer that we convince ourselves that we are that fear. And we tell ourselves the story over and over and replay the same scenario again and again until we become that secret, and we own it, and we build walls around it. It's hard to escape that secret once we get to that point. So we think that by not telling anyone the secret that we're pushing it aside, but that's not the case. In actuality, we're suppressing it just for it to come up at a later time. So the longer we wait for the secret to come out, the more energy it's gaining and the more power it has over us. And it will come up eventually. It will. These secrets aren't good for us, and the way to confront them is truly to let them go, to share whatever that secret is with everyone, to love it, because that's who we are. And really it's not who we are, it's just something we convince ourselves that it's who we are. Mostly these secrets are past oriented, but it could be something we're dealing with now. And if that's the case, just start loving it. Give it time. It's not gonna happen overnight, but start thinking about it. Begin to make that change in whatever way that is for you. That secret is just there to help us, to act as a jumping off point for us to become even more awesome than we already are. So don't push it aside. It's there to help us grow, to see that we are much more than we think we are. And because once we let go of that secret, we find other secrets in our lives that we had no idea existed. And so we're removing this one that was at the forefront of our minds, and in that way we can then get to the ones that were in back of it. But this same one that we keep thinking about, that we're holding to ourselves, it's just going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up and keep existing. Once we let that secret go, that thought still might come up. It still might, but we love it and we share it, and it doesn't own us anymore.